Oh, Lord. Hey, everybody. I meant for the intro to play longer. I forgot to hit loop. So it only played for 5 seconds and then bam, we were live. So here we are. That kind of threw me off. But we were talking behind the scenes on Harlem. We're here for episodes 1 and 2 of season 3. I want to say this first before we really jump deep into Harlem. I want to encourage people that enjoy these type of shows to really watch it so they can get the views and the ratings so we don't lose these kind of shows, because I love me a nice ensemble comedy drama Black cast type of show, and they're disappearing really fast, and so we got to get the ratings up. But I just wanted to say that before we jump into the mess of this show.
Yes, amen.
Okay, so L Train has the notes. I know what went down person by person, but I don't know scene by scene. So how do you want to review? You want to go by your notes or person by person?
We can go by scene if you like, because some scenes don't even matter, in my opinion.
I feel like
But
the cast didn't get an equal amount of screen time, if that makes sense. Like,
mm,
it's very Camille heavy, and everyone else is her background singers. Is how I feel about the season so far.
uh-oh. So far, and then we got potentially just 4 more episodes left, so it's not giving a lot, but we shall see what happens, I guess. Well, in the first scene, we see that Camille and Ian are having a hard time separating from themselves. Now, he was just returning some books, and then all of a sudden, she says, "Hey, let's have XX." And of course, him being a man, of course, he's going to say, "Let's do it." So they were doing it and doing it and doing it, doing it, doing it, doing it, doing it, doing it, doing it. And then all of a sudden, he stopped calling. He
Yeah.
stopped coming back. What was it?
Ghost. Yes.
Yeah.
Whenever you think of XX and you have the type of relationship that Camille and Ian had, they needed a clean break. That let's keep screwing. What you break up for? Like, I've never. I'm trying to think back because I've only been married for 10 years. I never had a breakup and then say, "Oh, but let's keep screwing around." Not saying that I haven't spun the block, but
Well,
that's like a one-time thing, because I feel like when your emotions are still there, you could break up, but those emotions are still there. And that's why Camille, as the young people would say, crashed out the way she did episode 1 and kind of 2. But yeah, I don't agree with XX. I was turned off from the first 30 seconds of this show. I was like, I'm tired of Camille and Ian. And now we have Camille and Ian.
hmm I definitely agree with that. I've never, I'll say that the X stuff has happened, but it's not like it was a committed thing that we were doing. I'll just say that much. So that's just kind of crazy that she would do that. And we have not gotten any explanation of where Jameson went to.
We haven't seen Jameson. Is he even on season 3?
It doesn't look like it. And I don't, there's no reason to bring him back at this point. But
Right, that would be even more messy.
yeah. 'Cause, but she was doing that. She was just flip flopping from each person for these past 2 seasons, anyways. Um, During kind of the end of what they were doing, as far as XX, Ian mentions that he is seeing people, and of course, in Camille's mind, like, you're seeing people, no, well, hopefully you could come back after you're done seeing people. He said, sure. Then he didn't show up again.
Neil, that was your hint that he's done having the sex with you. He's dating other people and wants to have sex with other people. That was your hint to move on, Camille. But I wish I wish Ian would have gave her a clean break from the ex sex. Like, Camille, I'm dating somebody else. Let's just be friends, or however you want to phase it. But
Mhm.
Camille, you broke up with him though, so
And you initiated all of this.
for nothing. But we ain't got there yet.
Yeah, because it's like, well, Ian just went along with what you wanted, and I know he wasn't going to just refuse it. I think you committed to. I understand why Camille did it outside of the feelings and all that. If you can have sex with someone that you're comfortable with, you thinking is not going to give you nothing and all that good stuff, let's just keep it up. But you could not handle that, and he says that later on in this episode or next episode. But I get it, but then at the same time, you can't handle that. So I don't know why you did that.
Because I want to ask Camille, if Camille was a real person, where was your line? What was eventually going to be your out when you started seeing someone else? Like,
There was no rules after that.
how did you expect for this to end?
Right. I don't get that. But I do agree that if Ian just had been up front and just said, hey, we got to cut this off instead of just leaving it alone, but possibly at the time, he doesn't think that he would be able to make that break if like he saw her in person or whatever, you know? And I guess he wanted to give whatever else he has going on a real chance. It's still
Wait till we get to episode 2. I got a lot to say. I got a lot.
okay. Cool. So the 2 months later, she was really crashing out and trying to figure out where's Ian because she needs her checkup. So he's not really answering to anything. Calls, texts.
He ghosted her.
Right. So she sends a JJ pic. I said, what? And he gives a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
And then you still crashing out. Now, between the silence and someone not even reacting how you wanted to react to you, when you send something seductive and provocative like that, let it go. But she was in her feelings.
She was in her feelings, but on the flip side of the coin, number one, I haven't heard from you in 2 months, I'm not sending you a picture of my vagina. Like, that's weird. I would just send a text like, I need a fix up, what's up. But Ian could also have been mature to say, look, Camille, please don't send me these type of pictures. I'm dating someone exclusively, and we need to cut off this sex thing and move on. So I see both sides of the coin, but I don't agree with either sides of the coin. Here comes Kamisha. Hold on.
All right.
Hello.
Hey, Kamisha. I told Train that you would be popping up, and we're only on the scene of Camille sending that picture to Ian and Ian just giving it the thumbs up.
Child, okay. I feel like, look, we was in Delulu land on that scene. Like, ma'am, you already knew what it was. You try to play like it was just a quick thank you, ma'am, and know all these things, but we all know you wanted more than that, period. I mean, it was just a lot. But go ahead.
Which is why you shouldn't have broke up with him in the first place. Like,
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah. And we were talking in regards to we didn't see Jameson because at the beginning that's who she was leaning towards, and then all of a sudden now it's just XX with Ian and all that. So no one was mature enough to step up to say, hey, look, we're done with this whole situation.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I think that Camille could have just taken some hints a long time ago. So.
Women usually get the hints and just choose to ignore them, and it is what it is. She knew what was going on, but again, she just was holding on to hope.
Something, but it changed nothing, ma'am. Everyone, all women have vaginas. You're not the only one. So,
Lord Jesus. Yes. It's
Yeah.
just unfortunate, poor thing.
Right. Okay,
Okay.
so we can move on to Dr. Pruitt. Has asked to see Camille. She ends up apologizing to her in regards to saying that she was wrong about her being ready for tenure. At the same point, Camille says, "Thank you, I needed that, but no, thank you. I'm not going to do this tenure." She's going to be graduating from Columbia and writing her first book. She's gotten um, some money in regards to that.
Mhm.
Um, I did love the scene because there's this. Well, she gets a lot more. What she doesn't get from her mother, she's getting it from outside sources at this point in her life.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I think that because of Dr. Pruitt's relationship with her daughter, if you remember that,
Mhm.
and now it's like this reversal thing. Now Camille can get something from Dr. Pruitt, and Dr. Pruitt can get something from Camille, all at the same time that they weren't getting from whom they should have been getting it from. So
Good point.
she also says, "Now you're stuck with me."
I
Go
just
ahead.
love Whoopi Goldberg in any capacity that they can fit her into this series. Would it be in the final season? I'm just gonna be happy to see it. Um, I don't know how they're gonna fit her in the remaining episodes, and I don't know how. I hope we get to see Whoopi again. I'm happy they had closure. That's the kind of closure she needed with Ian. But hey, I'm
Yeah.
happy they had closure with that job position. So
I love Whoopi Goldberg too. I loved her character, the mentorship. You know, she was very hard on her, but to me, like I spoke about Sherelle, sometimes them hard mentorships actually mean something in the end. You know, but I just love Whoopi in anything she does.
I agree. I was glad that she did come a part of this cast. Not like the other actors weren't good, but it kind of gave this sort of seasoning over this cast. Like, oh, okay, this is really, I don't know, legit in a way. It's not like, okay, well, Whoopi, if she wants to be a part of it, then oh, it must be good. That's how I
Whoopi
kind of.
A-listers. So
Hmm. Most definitely. Um, let's see. Okay, so I'll probably do like two in one. Quinn, she has a client that she's now doing alterations for. She's inquisitive about the lifestyle that the client is having, as far as having um, a suitor that pays for everything. The lady says that it's not a sugar baby and sugar daddy type of situation. That's kind of how I feel like it is, but whatever. But
this I didn't
she
care
doesn't.
about.
Hmm.
I know this scene was a lead up scene to her getting with Kofi, but to me, this scene didn't really matter because Quinn has her parents' money. So
Why
she
is she that?
won't need a man with money. It'd be nice, but if she doesn't meet a man with money, she's still gonna have money. So I didn't really understand that scene.
Yeah, I think it was a way to express that you can have this type of relationship with no feelings, just fun, but then try to lie and say it's not a
Right,
sugar
same
baby
thing.
type. So I don't get that. So she invites Quinn and any of her friends to this leftovers party. Everybody that's single. And the next scene, we see Ty. She's meeting with and one that's an investor. I think pushing for her new app that she's presenting to the world for the polyamorous world. And it looks like it's getting to the point where the investors and the company is going to take Ty on and what she has as far as her idea. And the investor is flirting with Ty, and Ty is not catching the bait because
At
now
all.
all of a sudden she is celibate. So
Ocean Tie is not fun. I don't like it. I hope she comes out of it soon. I'm like, that lady was dropping mad hints and she was
It
not
was.
up. And that actress, I know her from, gosh, Franklin. What is it?
Mm-hmm.
Snowfall.
Snowfall. Yeah.
I love her, so I'm happy she's on the cast.
I love her as well, and I thought that it was a different to what we've seen her on that show, just completely different. And she was giving those hints, but Ty has had like kind of a lot going on, so I think that she is just trying to find her way. She's struggling, but yes, this is not the fun one. We want to see that girl that we saw before, so I agree with that as well. They make a cute couple, by the way.
They would.
I definitely understand that. I think Ty, what I'm glad Quinn brought this up in another scene as to what she believes is going on. Ty's trying to just say that she's trying to commit to being disciplined in her life as far as sex, but then Quinn opens up something else. But probably we'll just get to that scene when we get there instead of just spoiling it, if that's all right. Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
so cool. Angie and Mike. Oh, I got something to say. So basically, there's a battle of when this wedding needs to happen. Mike is like, let's get it done right now, but also it needs to be intimate and only 15 to 20 people can be there. Angie's like, okay, but you're rushing, and also my immediate family is more than 20 people. So what do you mean? And without my friends. So there is this fight of pushing everything to go forward, but then everyone wants things their way. While they're discussing it, this is what I want to talk about when we get done with that. But Mike ends up saying that one of his assistants didn't do something and he has to go back to the office and do this. He makes sure that he spends he take care of the bill, basically. So I do have a red flag in regards to him all of a sudden leaving.
He is a walking red flag. We discussed this on our pre-season live. I didn't know Angie said yes because when he proposed, it was too soon. So when they came up season 3 and I figured out she did say yes, that's a walking red flag to me. You two don't know each other. And it could just be a this Angie, because we do have the same name. It could be a this Angie thing. People who move fast in relationships is a red flag for me, and I run. I don't like when people say I love you too fast, propose too fast, want to push the marriage too fast. Like that's the kind of stuff that makes me run. I feel like they only known each other 2 weeks. Hell, if Camille is pregnant, maybe they've known each other 4 months. I did. I ruined it. We supposed to be going to order, but anyway, y'all watched it. Y'all watched it. They might have known each other 4 to 6 months. For real, for real. Like it's all of it's too fast. So whenever I see Angie and Mike, I'm like, okay, girl, I'm just waiting for the breakup. Now I don't know if it happens or not, but I just don't see them walking down the aisle. It's way too fast. They don't agree on the things that they want in life. I don't know. What red flag did you get from him leaving early? Are you thinking he has another piece on the side?
Yes,
Oh,
because
I didn't get that.
all of a sudden, it, the first one, I was like, I wonder what's up there. As far as all of a sudden he had to leave, and of course he was already discussing everything going on. But the second one, when they discussed it, and they said, "Well, you usually do this,"
Right, you
and he
usually
said,
on
"Oh."
Sundays, and now he working on Sundays.
So I said, "No, you got something going on, sir, and
That's
you're going to
strange to
hurt."
me. Why would
I'm sorry, my mom. I just think that he is consumed with what his business. He's very business, I'm with you guys with the red flag. Just think that it's just they're not compatible. Lil Mama is breaking out and doing these things she's doing. I just think that they're not on the same page right now. Both you're both working on careers, but you're trying to get this big old wedding. It's just not mixing really well. So that's what I gotta say about
I
that.
don't understand why people can't date anymore. Like, what's wrong with dating for a year or two and get to know each other? And then, okay, let's have this wedding. I don't understand why he's so rushed into the marriage. I can see if Angie was Quinn and maybe he was fronting and trying to get Quinn's money, but Angie is the brokest one. I don't like
Oh
what's
wow.
the rush? I mean, and that's just I don't understand the rush to the aisle. It's a red flag for me.
It's crazy. I don't even know if they've met each other's relatives. I think she met his friends, maybe, but
No,
it's just like,
remember she ghosted that party. He wanted her to meet the friends, and she didn't show up because she was like, "It's too soon." And then that's when he proposed, and I was like, "I never thought she said yes." But hey,
mm,
Mm, yeah,
they want to
exactly.
wrap this thing up, bro. So, yeah. So there's definitely a red flag there. I do think something else is going on with Mike, but I think things will show. It's her intuition is somewhat there, but she's not really focused in to see, okay, so what's really going on? Because it seems like he's really so into her and want all this stuff. And so I don't know. After Mike leaves, this is they're at the club someplace. The
mhm.
lady, the ladies are just talking about what's up. Quinn is saying that she is decentering DICKs. Um,
Did she meet Kofi yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
No, this is when we about to soon find out about the other issue with Camille. Um, or maybe this is somewhere, I don't know. But they were meeting
I think
together.
this is
But
when they ran into Ian.
this might be. This might be. Uh, I gotta read the paragraph. But she says that she's realizing that she is the ish, you know? And I forgot who asked the question, if it was Angie or Ty, but they said, "Who gonna wet my?" You know
Mm.
what? So Ty ended up saying, I'm celibate," and this is when Quinn said, "Okay," because she was saying that she was into self control as far as not getting with all these women, because she does say in regards to how she felt when she was hooking up with the mom and also the daughter. It was like she had to really back up.
Mm-hmm.
I can
So
understand.
Quinn said, "Is this self control or is this self punishment for what you actually did?" Um, um, she said basically Quinn was saying, still get out there and date, because she was talking about the client, the investor was asking me out, and I said no. She said, "Do you think quitting sex is going to magically change you?" Um, and of course, I did say go for it. So this is when we get to the part. I think Camille was talking about Ian had not been communicating with her. Then all of a sudden, Ian pops up at the same place that they were at. Um, and the other ladies were like, "Who is this girl that all of a sudden came out there?" And Camille was like, "Oh, that's nobody. That's just Camille. She was just a childhood friend. They're just like, that's her sister." And then all of a sudden, they see her and him and Portia embrace, and then everything hit the fan. Y'all can express how y'all feel.
Go ahead, Kanisha. I'm gonna go second.
No, I want to hear your first. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
First, I want to address Ty and celibacy. Um, I'm not mad at Ty for taking a break from sex. I just think the character is more fun. But it's something about taking a break from sex and really working on yourself that Quinn, ain't that what you doing? Girl, didn't you just send the love of your life away and you rowed a boat to get to know yourself? So why is Quinn piping up? But anyway, I'm not mad at Ty because I think Ty does want to have a serious relationship and she probably needs to do some self-reflecting, and it's not her fault that she ended up with mom and daughter, but sometimes when you just have yourself out there like that, that's how that happened. But it's not like she knew they were mom and daughter.
Right.
When it comes down to they finally get to see Portia, I needed Camille to have that moment because she was stuck. And like I said earlier, I agree. Ian could have been mature enough to say, look, I'm seeing somebody seriously and we need to cut this off. But I needed Camille to have that moment. I needed her to see so she could stop with Ian. Like, look, he's moved on, girl. So you can chill out with the pictures and everything else. He's moved on. But we haven't got to the crash out of it all. So I'm just going to leave. I'm going to save the rest.
For me, I'm just gonna say, as far as Todd's concerned, I understood. Same with Kiss My Cheeks, that what she was doing was trying to repair some things. Um, Camille, I don't know. My heart. I don't know. I just felt so awful for Camille. It just seemed like she was getting drugged like a rag doll, like this whole entire situation. But Quinn, on the other hand, what y'all say? Y'all got to the part where she met Kofi.
You haven't met Kofi yet.
Okay. I really won't get to that. But the whole thing with Ty, I want to just really wrap that up by saying that I feel like that Ty is just doing what a lot of people who, like you say, they be out there real bad and realize, let me go ahead and pull back. I just been the block too many times. And I get the whole thing about her not knowing about the mother-daughter situation, but it still was bad. So for her, she was like, let me go ahead and just chill out. So that's all I got, y'all.
That was and that's kind of embarrassing too. Like I was out here like I didn't realize. Yeah, so
yeah. I like the vibe that Quinn is on at this point as far as how she is. She says that she's decentering DICKs, but I guess she's going to.
she ran up on Kofi.
Yeah, I guess she's still going to have fun. I think how I have been seeing her is kind of like she's taking more control, and this is all we're going to do, because a lot of times when Quinn finds this guy, whatever guy she's with, she's already about to plan her future wedding and all of that too. So she's not rushing anything, and she's not doing what people are expecting her to do. And maybe that's what she's also trying to put off on Ty. Like, still do your thing, but I think it is cool to see her chill out. But at the same time, you're just refusing anything from anyone. I mean, I guess Ty just knows herself and knows that look, I'm just going to have sex with you. But I mean, can't you finally start to get to know people before you start jumping into bed with them? That could be a step that you could take, I mean, cocktail is a cocktail. What you do afterwards is what you do. So, but yeah. And of course, the whole Ian and Portia thing, I am glad that she finally seen it, because she was already freaking out. Where is he at? Where is he at? Like, you don't know what ghosting is. But she ends up sending a text seeing them and all that. And then I have a note here of him saying to her, like, you made this weird, because she's going off like, why ain't you why haven't you talked to me? Da, 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 da. So he's pushing it off because it was just supposed to be platonic sex. And now he's moved on. But she didn't know that. And now she's spazzing out. But anyways, we get to this party. This, what is it called? Leftovers party. After she not really getting the response that she wanted out of Ian, Camille gets this voice note from Ian, and that pisses her off and says, hey, I'm going to leave this party and I need to go confront Ian. At the same time, Quinn meets this guy, Seth. Now, I remember him from Queen Sugar. Hearing him talk almost reminded me he was on Queen Sugar, except for the accent, but he still had that same swab. I forgot the actor's name. Um, um, they end up doing this big flirt thing. Quinn wanted him to earn her, and acting like she was more in control of this whole situation. Um, let's see. Oh, and then Ty ends up leaving the party and going to get a cocktail with the lady. Um, I'm gonna put two and two together. So it looks like everything is going well as far as the investors want to invest in her and all that good stuff. And Ty just says, "Look, well, first the investor says, I apologize for flirting with you. I should not have done that. Da 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 da." Ty says it's okay, and then she tells all her garbage. She lets her know I'm a big red flag with the side of messy. And she goes into some of the stuff that she's been involved in that's been kind of scandalous. But the investor says, "Hey, I'm cool with it. So let's see if we can do something together." So thoughts?
Okay, starting with Camille, I don't recall what was said on that voice recording that made her leave, but I will address Camille and Ian in person when we get to that scene. When it comes to Quinn, everybody's dropping whatever thoughts and plans and ideas they had for decentralizing the D. Is that what you said? When Kofi comes in the picture, all of that goes away. It's Kofi. What's up? What we doing? Come over here. It's Kofi. So I ain't mad at Quinn for dropping everything and doing what she had to do, because that is a fine man. And when he walks on the scene, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to that situation with Ty, I just want to address the dumping all of your baggage on the table from the beginning. When you know you're a toxic person and you're trying to be serious with someone, sometimes you do got to run it all down. Like, look, this is what I've been through. This is what I got going on. I was out here wilding. I was with a mama and a daughter and didn't even know it. That way people can make that decision for themselves if they want to go down that road with you, instead of you sugarcoating your past and you fall into some bad habits, and now they might have made a different decision if they would have known a couple of things up front. So I'm not mad about Ty. Sometimes you got to get some stuff out there to let it go. So I'm not mad. I'm kind of bored with Ty right now. I just hope she does give that lady a chance, if that's where we're going to go with the last 4 episodes.
So I want to just kind of mention Camille running off the text message, and I'll let you go ahead and continue that. As far as her doing that, she just was so delusional about some things. Like, girl, you knew what it was, but yet you wanted more. You wasn't willing enough to say you wanted more, using this text message as an excuse to see him in person, and got some information came up in your face. I mean, she needed to hear that though. Like she needed to really hear that, because to me she was feeling like, oh, he gonna just pop off. You didn't notice he wasn't coming by. Like, you just going through with your phone. You were trying to live your life. You weren't trying to move on. See, a woman would say all day, I want to be just this. We're gonna get together and do what we do, and no emotions and da da da. That's a lie. After the first 2 times you're in love, and every time you see him, you think he should be treating you like a girlfriend, even though y'all established in the beginning or whatever time point that you were gonna just smash and pass. So I just wish women would delusion.
Remember, she established it. She was the one who broke it off with him.
No. What I'm trying to say is, even though she established it, it was a lie. Like most women who do this, they say this all the time. I just want to be only this. Girl, please. You just want to still have that attachment to your man, especially if it's your ex. You still want that. There's nowhere you can go back to that. You can't revert all the feelings and emotions you guys went through, and then all of a sudden, oh, we just cool, we just smashing and moving on. That's not gonna work like that. And even if you did feel that way, like you had no emotional attachment to this man, once y'all get in the bed, all these emotions and feelings will come right back to you again, and you're doing it repetitive every week. Please. The
Mhm.
emotions are going to come back even harder. So come on now with that. Go ahead, y'all.
I agree. Most definitely. She was just really playing herself and she got played. Um, I do feel like now I want to ask this question because some people, of course, it's up to the person. Do the red flags run you guys away? Because a lot of people will tell you up front who they are and then just all of a sudden get delusional and get into this. And then all of a sudden, what they said, who they are, shows up, and now you're not prepared for it.
That's
Like, because it's like, okay, they told you. Like, especially a lot of dudes, they will tell you up front who they are, and then you still acting like he's a great guy. No.
Surprise.
Right. No.
right. To me, that's on you. If you're gonna ignore the red flags when someone was honest with you, then that's on you. And that's why I like when people do that. So you can, some people like that toxic stuff, and we all know people like that. So some people might be like, oh, that's a little bad girl right there. I like a little bad girl, so you can't be shocked when she does something toxic. But it seems like Tyler is trying to change. So it's up to old girl to decide if she want to take a chance and see if she truly changes or not.
Yeah.
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 We'll
Most
see.
definitely.
We'll see.
All right, so Camille and her fiery self goes on over to Ian's townhouse. She knocks, and guess who opens the door?
Mm.
Portia.
Mhm.
And of course, it's very awkward. Of course, Camille gonna show all her awkwardness and all of this. Um, then Ian comes to the door and he takes over, and Portia goes back inside. Um,
You
and of
know she
course,
was ear hustling.
hmm,
You know Portia was ear hustling
I
You know
would
that.
because I would have too.
I would have as well. Let me not lie. Hey y'all, what y'all talking about?
have.
My man, my man, my man.
Ah, ah,
Oh goodness gracious.
Lord. So, of course, she's going back and forth with Ian. I only wrote down a few things that I needed to remember. Like Ian said that I knew you couldn't handle it as far as this whole
Mhm.
situation.
Mhm.
And then he ends up announcing that him and Portia are exclusive. And
Mhm.
then she asked, well, why did you leave me hanging? And of course, all of that type of stuff was they're having their own logic as to why this happened and this didn't happen and all that good stuff. Um, Ian ended up saying, okay, or possibly Camille saying, we're done. And then I'm blocking you on the phone. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a
Of
lot.
course.
Camille was embarrassed. Number one, you riding up to go off on your man, and then his new girl opened the door,
Mm.
and she know you, and she know y'all used to date, so she know why you knocking on the door. Like that's embarrassing. Like Camille was embarrassed. To Ian, if you knew Camille couldn't handle it, why you get with it? Like you could
Mm.
have screwed any other lady in New York. You could have told Camille this X sex ain't a good idea. But you went along with it knowing she couldn't handle it. So here she is on your door not handling it. I'm never gonna embarrass myself like that. I would have just blocked him and went on my piece. I don't like to be embarrassed. Not saying that I've never, as the young people say, crashed out and done some stuff like that, but hopefully Camille is at an age where I thought she wouldn't have done what she did. It wasn't
Mhm.
that deep, especially when you initiated the breakup. Like
Yes.
you started all of this.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. She should just did. Ugh, I don't know. I just felt bad for her. The girl going through a lot. That's all. She just
I
going
ain't
through a lot.
because you started it,
I
Camille.
Lord have mercy.
don't feel bad either. No, I don't
Oh
feel bad.
Lord Jesus.
Well,
Life lesson learned. She'll be all right.
Right. It's not happening to
well,
a million different people. You can't be trusting these men. You talking about some XX and ain't no strings attached. These men have 4, 5 women with all the strings attached. So you know he gonna have some with no strings. So Camille, what were you thinking? You should have kept your man.
He got free sex out of you. He told
Hmm.
you
Oh
he was
wow.
dating. That's
That's what it
a
was.
free.
It
No
was.
commitment or nothing. She was offering it up, and he took it. That's all that is. And he told you that he started dating other people.
He did.
That right then, I would have started backing up. Maybe not
But she
totally
thought she
did
was that girl. She thought she was that girl. Yeah, he might be out there dating people, but I'm Camille. He gonna come back over here and screw me. But no, ma'am, you're Camille, but you left him.
right.
Mm.
You don't want the same things that he wants. You said that you don't want children. He's trying to still prepare his life or get on with his life on what he wants, as we see at the end of episode two.
What am I supposed to say about that? Oh Lord.
Lord help
So it's
her.
like, yeah, you were just somebody that he could play with, that you allowed him to play with you, and then he moved on with his life like it was supposed to. And you were stuck right there where you decided to lay your cards at. So I don't feel bad in that situation for her. I'm sorry.
Me neither.
You yeah, blocked.
That's why I said the Lulu
Yeah.
delusion, poo thing.
He
So
don't
I
care
mean,
about you blocking him. He got a whole new girlfriend.
a whole new
Right.
girlfriend.
What he gets mad when she does unblock him. Like why I thought we were done. So
Oh
why
yeah.
you
Oh yeah. I can't wait for episode 2.
yeah,
Yeah, it was. It's getting to be kind of crazy, but like I say, I'm not young anymore, so I don't know how that feels to even get in that position. But I was young once, but I still don't think I would have taken it as far as she did. I'm coming to your door when old girl come out the door. That was just a mess. I probably would have left as soon as she opened the door. I don't think I would have responded.
I was like,
I,
oh,
don't-
I'm at the wrong house, but she know Portia, so she couldn't have did that.
I wouldn't have said none of that. I would just say, "Oh, okay, well, I'm gone. Bye. Y'all have a nice life or something." I don't know. I'd have left.
I wouldn't have
Period.
went over there, but
right, right.
It is what it is. I'm just saying. It just still was a hot ass mess.com. You know what I'm saying? So
mhm.
Okay. So we do know that Quinn and Seth ended up having sex. This is the next morning.
As they
Seth,
should. Mhm.
yeah, it's somewhere centered. This, but anyways, he's getting up, getting ready to go, but he gets this emergency call of his garment bag is missing, along with the person that does his alterations or does his styling. Um, he gets off the phone and apologizes to Quinn, like, I didn't want you to see me like that, as far as yelling and all that. But he's going to the ESPYs. I believe that he's an athlete or something.
Mhm.
Um, so Quinn says, look, I can handle everything. Call this person, do this, give them your measurements. You can get whatever you want styled, and then bring whatever the garments to me, and I'll alter them. So then, in exchange, Seth ended up inviting Quinn to the ESPY Awards. Um, Later on at the ESPY Awards, she's there with him, but he goes off to do his own thing as far as interviewing, and he shouts out Quinn Joseph and then announces that she is going to be his new stylist. And at the same time, she's getting a lot of calls right there from that whatever live event that was going on. So this is when the nightclub scene happens. I jumped ahead trying to do each character, making notes. So that's why I already mentioned the Michael and Angie stuff. So we
Yeah.
can
Fast forward, past
fast
it.
forward that. Boom, boom, boom. Camille says goodbye. Oh, Camille, before we get to the nightclub, I forgot. Camille said goodbye to her class, and Dr. Pruitt is there. And then after she leaves outside, she takes her last glance at Columbia, and that's a goodbye forever. The girl's not out. um, they were talking about the wedding as I said before, um, let me see. Oh, then all of a sudden they're talking all that, what they always do. Camille's stomach is not feeling well to her. And all of a sudden, I I see the scene that we saw last season, the season finale of them at the doctor's office. And the doctor says everything is fine.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Somebody pregnant.
right. So, to me, I felt like the writers really confounded us on this one because I never would have connected those scenes together, the nightclub scene to this scene, because it was done last season and it was brought to us in a different way because I think Ty was having her medical issues and also thinking about eggs and harvesting eggs and all that. So we thought it was around that thing, and that's why I had a different guess as to who was actually pregnant. Does anyone want to announce who they thought was pregnant before we found out who it was?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest. That's who I thought was pregnant. I did.
Wow.
I
Wow.
did.
I thought it was Quinn.
Have been tied. I
That's
thought
how life goes, man.
Angie, because Angie the one that be out there. But I don't know. I was just hoping it wasn't Camille, but here we are.
No, I thought it was her because I thought it was her because that's how life goes, bro. Like I've been on this earth and I just all things she was going through. I was like, that is not gonna be a surprise to me that that's thrown in with all the craziness and chaos that's happening. So that's why I thought.
Yeah.
It's real life.
Quinn, I just want to say shout out to Quinn for her dreams starting to come true. That's what I wanted to see for Quinn this season because we all know she wanted to be a great designer and now she's going to be a stylist. And you get to hook up with Kofi. Girl, you better not. All I know is by the end of episode 6, girl, you better not mess it up. Because Kofi is the one you get some act right for. But anyway, Camille is pregnant. I'm highly annoyed. As you can see by the title of this episode or this review, I said, I guess we're going to get Condola's side of the story. Kamisha, you watched Insecure, so you might have picked up on that, where this sounds straight up out of Insecure with Condola, Issa, and Lawrence. Like
it does.
Now we're getting Condola's side instead of Issa's side. So I guess that's gonna lead more into episode 2. I guess we're gonna see how this works.
Well, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna tell you I can't. I'm gonna come back on here and talk to y'all about it when these other episodes do drop. Okay, because that's all I'm gonna say.
That's shout out to you, L Train. You don't know. Kamisha gets what do they call it? Kamisha
early screening. I get early screening.
Early screening because she's like a part of the press. I don't know the official name, but like she interviews the cast, so they send her early screenings, so she knows how it ends. So she's trying not to say too much since she already knows.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's a struggle, but I'm not gonna. I would never spoil it for anyone. I don't do that. That's something I don't move. But I don't want to get myself in trouble. On top of the fact, so I'm moving with grace.
Right. I just wanted him to know that, so he kind of know when you say stuff like that. That's what you mean.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Look, y'all. I enjoyed this. I gotta get off of here and cook my salmon. But I do want to come back on when y'all get to the other episodes because we have a lot to talk about. This is only a tip, and so I really want to get into it with you guys and hear you guys' opinion.
You
gonna say Lord have mercy a lot, but I just really want to get into it when we really get to talk about. At the beginning of the season, it's always like, okay, you get the little light music, and then all of a sudden the storm is coming. So that's what I am waiting for. So I want to say I appreciate it coming on here and look forward to coming on here again. Thank you, Kid My Cheeks TV, for bringing me on. LT. Appreciate it as well. Nice to meet you as well, baby. I do appreciate it.
Nice meeting you. Also.
All right, I'll send you the link always for whenever you come up.
I'll be back. Send me the link tonight for other challenges. Though. Don't forget to send me.
I will. I haven't set it up yet, but I will.
Okay, no problem. All right, y'all. Have a great Sunday. Bye.
Bye. Okay, shout out to Kamisha. I do have to run. What time is it? It's 2 something. I do have another live. So we do go through episode 2. So let's kind of start to go person by person for episode 2. To me, episode 2 was really good. We should have went person by person for episode 1 and then deep dived into episode 2, but we'll work that out for the
My
next
bad.
live. It's no problem because I just forgot to take notes. Episode 2 started off on episode 2 because I forgot how it started.
Well, it started with Camille starting her book. She was
Okay.
typing it out, and then we get a flashback of the pregnant reveal. She then talks with her doctor, and we find out that she's 12 weeks pregnant.
Right.
Um,
That's a lot. That's a lot.
yeah, and later on, she does describe that she really didn't know what was going on with her cycle and all that. She's been stressed and all that good stuff. But she only had a 5% chance of getting pregnant.
Mm-hmm. Which is crazy.
Really crazy. Of course, they're giving the doctor's giving a lot of insight, and options. You're almost at the cutoff of when you can terminate a pregnancy.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was 12 weeks, but I don't know.
I guess she got like a couple days, whatever, left. But then she was like, well, consider this. This could be your only chance
To
of
have
ever having a child. Not saying that it's not possible, but this is like one a million
miracle
chance.
baby, right?
Right. So, because Camila made up her own mind that she wasn't going to have children because of the low chance of ever having children and all that. Um, the nurse or the doctor says, talk with your mom to see if there's any type of birth defects. Weigh out all your options before you make your decision. So
That was respectable of the doctor because doctors do have to give you all of your options. She didn't throw adoption out there, but
oh,
that's always an option as well. Um, to me, this was the Camille episode. Nobody really had anything popping off. Everyone kind of centered around Camille, helping her make this decision, pros, cons, and all of that. What I want to say in the beginning is that I am pro-choice. I believe everyone has the right to make their own decisions. So if Camille, because we kind of know by the end of episode 2 that she's planning on keeping the baby, that's what she's decided for now. If she would have decided not to, I don't want people dragging her on social media, especially for a fictional character. I'm
yeah.
opposed to people making whatever decision they want to make for their body and their life. Let's talk about the pros and cons since that's kind of how they talked about it all season.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is her miracle baby, and it's so crazy how things work out in life that you destroyed your relationship. You destroyed the relationship you had with the love of your life because you weren't sure if you wanted to have children.
Mm-hmm.
Here go the Lord. Well, here go one right here. So what you gonna do now? It's like
Right.
crazy. To me, that was
Like,
crazy.
God, you couldn't have said something like, say, wait before you break up with this man because I'm about
But
to do something with you.
but if Camille, women know they cycles, and true enough, they're stressed and everything. But by your 3rd month, you don't miss 3 cycles. If Camille would have took a test in that first cycle, she would have still been in the middle of this XX before Ian got with Portia, and maybe it would have been a very different outcome. Now, I got so much to say about that Portia situation, but we got to get through Camille's situation first. But to me, the pro is this your miracle baby. And like the doctor said, you might not be able to have another one. And Lord forbid you have this abortion and then you do meet the love of your life and decide you do want to have a child and now you can't.
Mm-hmm.
That would have just been too tragic. And the cons, she finally did tell Ian, and Ian didn't do what I thought. He was like, I ain't leaving Portia though. Like we could co-parent, but I ain't leaving Portia. I thought Ian would immediately got back with Camille. What
I
did
could not have handled another repeat of this.
It's a
No.
baby involved now.
Hmm?
It's a baby, and they always wanted a baby. So he only known Portia for 2 weeks. They only been dating for 2 weeks.
But they've known each other since they were children. It's
Okay.
like, but there's obviously a level of commitment that he has with Portia, and they've locked in at the same point in their lives. We don't know what their relationship has been on and off with. Maybe he's been trading off Camille when Camille was crazy and didn't want to be with him. Then she was with him. Then he was with her.
But no,
All
with no girl. Remember, because he
that.
was engaged. So
Yeah,
with Portia,
but whatever was going on in high school, whatever, I don't know. But obviously, she was speaking what he wanted to hear, and he was speaking what she wanted to hear, and they're committed. It's just I didn't want to see Camille in the place where you are the catalyst that is breaking up another relationship,
it
no
might be
matter
that
which one.
way. It might be
Huh?
that way. By the end of episode 2, Ian hasn't told Portia. So what
Mhm.
Ian and Portia are going through is under the microscope of not knowing what Camille has going on. So Portia is still in the dark. She still might be that catalyst because I'm speaking as a woman. If my man, and we only been together 2-3 months, if my man come up talking about he got his ex-girlfriend pregnant and she keeping a baby, I'm out.
But if I've committed to you, and now we have made, I don't know what it's called, the egg and the sperm meet, we already got children, as we saw at the end of the episode. They got what, 3 boys and 1 girl that they can now give birth to. At this point, it's a sealed deal on that end.
No, look at Sofia Vergara and her ex-husband. They had children frozen in the cell, and when the relationship broke up, I'm sorry to say it cruelly, but them children broke up too. Those embryos are no longer with us. So to me, doing that embryo thing isn't the same as Camille has an attachment to her uterus that's actually growing. Right now, y'all have embryos that are going to be frozen. It's not the same. Now that is, and let's just talk about it because we skipping all over episode 2 because it was too much drama. Why, after only a couple of months of dating, if we're going by the timeline of the show, are y'all already not even talking about freezing your eggs and making embryos, but you've already done it? Like, did y'all do this on date number 2? Because that's not a process that you can just do in a week. It takes months for you to get your body ready for the egg extraction. Then you actually have to extract the eggs and make the embryos. Like, on what date did y'all decide to do all of this? To me, that's the ultimate we moving way too fast.
Definitely could. I just would love to know the nature of their relationship. However, Ian technically is not a main character, so we don't have to really know his story. Even
Only
though
months. He only ghosted Camille 2 months ago.
then I don't know how the process. I don't know how they're doing this as far as writing.
We have to at least look that Camille is only 3 months pregnant, which means they were doing that X thing for 2 months, which means she was ghosted for 2 months. So he only could have been with Portia for those 2 months. But let's say even he was with Portia the whole time and then they made it exclusive at 2 months. That's 3 months.
Now remember, he said he was seeing people, so that's probably a little bit more time. She was probably one of the people he was seeing, and then all of a sudden he just
It was it to me, and again, if y'all been with Kiss My Cheeks TV, you know I'm not a fast mover. To me,
yeah.
it's just way too fast anytime under a year for you to already be talking about embryos, freezing eggs, and actually doing the process of now you got three boys and a girl. Like, that's insane to me. I'm like, when did y'all do this?
Because it's like both of them are quite erratic, and they'll just do stuff like out of the blue, out of their emotions. Possibly because he went on and or at least was okay with it and rushed in this process because he knew that Camille was in control of whatever decision she was going to make towards that baby. And
He was doing that way before the baby. Because, like I said, it takes people a good month just to take all them hormones and shots to get your body ready to just take the eggs. Like, this is not a fly by night process.
yeah, and I think we got to get logic out of this show because
So,
they're
right,
trying
we
to
also
wrap
have to
stuff
say
up.
this is a TV show.
Yeah, because they're flowing way too fast on it and not explaining other things that we know that happened beforehand.
It just
So
seemed like they got together and said, hey, I want kids. I want kids too. I have a problem having kids. Let's free some egg. Like, did he meet another one? Like, we don't even know this lady's uterus situation. Can she not? Like, why can't they try for natural children? Like,
well, she was saying something like she didn't know if she was going to be able to have children. I remember her saying that, but now she's got these miracle embryos. So
it just
as
seemed
far
like way too much, but we gonna just take this as a television show. That's
yeah,
my mind around it.
I think if the show was not concluding, we would have been able to flesh out these storylines and these characters because it's like, okay, why are we doing this? Because now potentially Ian has 5 children on that he could have at some point. But it's like it felt like he could have, like I was saying, been emotional at that point of when Camille was like, I don't know if I'm having this child, blah, 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 and whatever, you don't have to be a part of it, da, 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 da. Because I think Camille had in her mindset, possibly, well, maybe we can get back together. And Ian was like, no. So,
Right, he did shut that down. He said, "No, I'm gonna be with Portia." I think he said no because he said me and Portia already have things in the works, and I think he was talking about those embryo processes. And I think maybe that's why he hasn't told Portia because he was like, well, if she gonna have an abortion, I don't have to say nothing to Portia. But I feel like come episode 3, he gonna have a hard conversation with her.
yeah, yeah. Um, I
Do you
get it.
stay? Would you?
It
If it was you, would you stay? If you were in
um,
a situation, would you stay?
in Ian's situation,
No, you're in
or who?
Portia's shoes.
Portia. Like, she has her choice right now to walk away. Um, in a way, I probably would, especially when you give me the rundown of how chaotic y'all really are. Then I would really want to walk away because y'all crazy. You know what it reminded me of on the game between Mel and Durwood and
Yeah.
Janae.
Mm-hmm. And what did I mean? As I feel like during the pregnancy, the women leave. It's hard to sit through that. Melody left but came back. And then she had that whole competition of, oh, well, you had a baby first, but I want to get married before the baby. Like it's there's too much drama. And to me, that's not real life.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Mm-hmm.
guess it could because some people done did some messy stuff in real life. I just know if I was Portia, embryos aside, because they aren't implanted, and she could possibly, later in life, if she has that permission from Ian, like I wish
Mm-hmm.
they would have made embryos, maybe just take the eggs and freeze the eggs because you can always create the embryos later. Like to me, it's just all of this is too soon. All of
Mm-hmm.
that is just too soon. Because now, if you have a hard time getting eggs and you do meet another partner, Portia, she may not be able to, like you say, get pregnant and she might have to use those embryos. Like, this is just way too messy.
Yeah, like she has fertility problems right now, and for whatever reason, her and Ian decided to go on and do this thing. So I don't think she'll get rid of the embryos, but hopefully, oh, do if she does leave, allows her to have them. And I think he should, since he won't. I mean,
She started
I
the
know.
paperwork to get the embryos implanted. Like, are we going to have what they call ghetto twins?
Lord, but I would say, okay, let's say she just says, I'm not going to do this with you as far as a relationship. Let her keep the embryos since she has difficulties with fertility, and allow her to, if she wants to actually use them at some point, if he wants to be a father or not. They kind of did this on Grey's Anatomy, but then pissed me off years later. Two characters, Izzy and Alex, they had embryos. She ended up leaving him years later. Oh, well, he did ask. Um, she ended up asking, "Can she use the embryos?" He said yes. He decided to not be the father. Years later, while he was in a new relationship, he left that relationship, and the weakest thing he did, the wackest thing, is that he wrote a letter to the new girl that he was with, saying that I need to be with my children. Izzy ended up having twins, and the writers then wrote him off, left this other woman for no reason, and said I need to be with my children. I said, what the crap? But that pissed me off about with Grey's Anatomy. But anyways, I'm like, I don't know about. It's a tough situation. And I hope, well, I never get in that type of situation because that's crazy. Like, it's because of people's decisions that have now affected other people. If you're doing something to yourself, that's one thing. But now putting everybody into the pot of what you cooked up is unfair, and whatever happens, happens, you know. But I wonder, I want to know, I can't wait for Miss Kamisha, since she's got this type of way. It doesn't look like it's going to go right for Camille because she feels bad for Camille. So that's my guess.
I don't know. She's
I
gonna.
still don't. I don't want them together, even if they do have the baby.
I don't want
That's,
them together, but I don't want her to have a baby and then he turn around and have a baby with Portia at the same time, because that's even more mess. Are they mature enough to co-parent in this way? Is Portia mature enough? Because you could have two baby mamas. There's no marriage in the talks of any of this. Like, I don't understand why you're going to this extreme with Portia and you ain't even proposed to this lady. Like, it just doesn't seem it doesn't make sense. And I have to wrap my mind like, and just a TV show, just roll with it. But in real life, that to me, it doesn't make sense for you to meet somebody. I don't care if you knew them your whole life. But at some point, now we have romantic feelings and say, hey, let's go have some kids and harvest eggs and fertilize them. Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
right, right. It, it just seems like they wanted to take Ian on the path of what he wanted to do, but it's very selfish at this point, and it seems quite usury type, towards Portia. I mean, she's still a willing participant, but it's just like, let me get
It's
what I want.
people who want to have a baby, and Ian didn't give me that. He wanted a family, like he wanted the marriage, he wants the house, which he has the house, and he wanted the family. And it just seems like it's two people that said, hey, let's just have a baby, because it just doesn't make sense to me. But we only got 4 more episodes for me to try to make it through, because
It doesn't.
now we
Yeah.
gotta touch on Angie real quick, because I think she's the only one that had any drama this episode, where she was rehearsing and her man
Mhm.
was like, I want you to be like Camille real quick. And she like, huh? Like, I ain't trying to have no baby till I can be on People Magazine. Girl, you may never be on People Magazine. I mean, we hope it for you, but do you know how long it takes for people to get to that status in
Right.
real life? Um, Angie, I need you to fall back. It's something about this man I don't trust. He's in a rush for I don't know what reasons.
Mhm.
And y'all situation is just as crazy to me as Ian and Portia.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. He's been in this love bombing situation. Probably,
There's me as well.
yeah, it's a little bit like normal toxicity, if I can say it that way. It's like it's not to the extreme of what Ian and Portia are doing, but he's love bombing and rushing everything. Like if he doesn't do it now, then I don't know. I wonder if he's ill. I wonder if he's ill. I just thought of that just now. Something terminals coming up. I don't know because why do you have to rush so much? And then even in your rushing, you can't even really think of her in the process. It's really about you. And
To
of
me,
course, and
selfish. I would hope it's nothing terminal because why would you want her to birth these children and be your wife knowing that you aren't going to be here? Like that's to me
Mhm,
is selfish for people to do that. Like I could see if they had that conversation up front and Angie was
mhm,
a part of that decision, but to rush somebody into something like that, I feel is extremely selfish and I wouldn't like that. I hope
mhm,
that's not the case. Him having a side piece doesn't seem like the case either
mhm.
because most people who want to cheat aren't rushing to get into marriage and have children. Like, I don't know.
Unless you got another life. I mean, a lot of people do that. I mean, look at military men, or look at people that are able to lead separate lives,
True.
and they'll just marry two. They'll be in. I'm sorry. They'll be in multiple marriages that are invalid, and aren't the wiser in this whole situation. So,
It gives me scammer vibes, except for Angie doesn't have anything to scam on. He definitely
right,
gives me scammer vibes.
right. It's weird. Something's going on, but I'm eager to see what happens there in regards to that. There was one thing in the scene, if you want to talk about it, is when Camille visits Ian's aunt.
Oh, Bevy, I love Bevy Smith.
Yeah,
I love her. Give her more acting roles. I love her.
yeah. I
Um,
love. Go
I like
ahead.
how she broke that down to Camille because Camille was gonna make a decision out of haste, out of just, talking to her mother and her mother spinning her around with her mother's issues, as she calls it, undiagnosed issues. We don't know what the issue is, but we know it's something. And she was kind of like, termination, where the doctor at? And I felt like she rushed to that because her mother couldn't give her what she was looking for. And I like that Bevy kind of sat it down and not told her which way to go, but kind of told her, like, our mama wasn't all there either, but we had to break a pattern. So I'm happy that gave Camille more insight on how to look at it as a whole. And I really like that moment with her and Bevy because it felt real. It felt like something people watching it from home could take something away from it and not just Camille. So I like that moment.
Hmm. Yes, I really did too, and I won't say I got excited when she was saying like in this day and time we're out here breaking patterns. I said, okay, cool. She did her own thing. She made her own decision about her pregnancy,
Hmm.
and because it's her career, and she knew that that's not what it's going to be. Ian was a surprise even to his mother, but she decided to be the one to say, I'm going to take care of my child. So it was very interesting. And I think it could shed light to a lot of people that think that they're going to be terrible parents because of the stuff that they've been through, probably still reliving trauma from whatever their parents or their upbringing was. So
Mhm.
I hated that the mom is just so aloof and so just out there, don't care anything about her child, not for real. I thought that they were getting to a
Hey,
better. Yeah.
if you have a mental health issue and it's undiagnosed, that's not always the case that she doesn't care about Camille. She just doesn't know how to mentally process. And you can kind of tell it seemed like a touch of what they call it ADHD because she can't focus. Like Camille is saying
Mhm.
something, but she's focused on something else. And I don't think it's I can't stand my daughter. I'm not focused. I really think it's mental health issues. And you can't really, I mean, it's hard to go through as a child, but you can't put all that pressure or blame on your mother. If anything, all you can do is kind of encourage her to seek help so she can get diagnosed and get the help for whatever that diagnosis may be.
Mhm. Okay, I'll take that. uh,
I don't want
yeah.
to make it seem like that lady don't care about her daughter. Like that lady really is going through something. So, and they've kind of
Mm.
known that about her, Camille's whole upbringing. And that's kind of how Camille, I think, because some people, mental health can be hereditary. And some people do have those fears, like my mom is going through something. So sometimes you kind of try to act the opposite because you're scared that mental health may come up on you. When really we need to embrace the things that go on in our families. And instead of running from it, if you feel like it's something that may affect you, just get checked. Having a mental health disorder or episode isn't anything to be embarrassed about. What's embarrassing is knowing that it's something going on and not wanting to go seek the help. So if you know it's something going on, seek the help. It's plenty of people that function regularly that have mental health disorders because they get the counseling, the medication, the help that's needed. So I think we need to be more open to not shaming people for it, but just encouraging them to seek out the help that's needed.
Amen. I agree. Yeah. Yeah. Because they usually just get pushed aside, or oh, that's just LTV. That
Right.
we know he crazy, and we're just gonna leave him over there to do what he do. So
Right.
yeah. So
Encourage people. And she said it. She was like, it's something undiagnosed. We don't know. I would just be constantly talking to my mom, like, let's just go see someone and just have a conversation. It could be a therapist so they can kind of see what's going on. You know, and maybe she have some people that have mental health disorders refuse treatment and it's kind of hard to navigate because you love them, but they aren't willing to get the help for you to be approachable to them. So
mhm,
in that sense, I do feel bad for Camille.
mhm. Yeah, most definitely that way. Yeah. Yeah. All the rest of the stuff, it really was meal centered. It
It
wasn't
was
really my.
all tossing balls and baskets, pros and cons.
Yeah. Like we knew Camille was gonna do that anyways, because for her to make a decision is just like, are we going to have world peace or not?
I'm happy she made the decision in episode 2 because we only got 6 of y'all. We ain't need this dragging out to episode 5. I'm happy she made the decision. Okay, let's see what's gonna happen now. Because the way they ended the episode with congratulations, Dad, I was like,
Why she had to be shady like that? Because it's the
but she probably said it that way because Ian did not want her to have an abortion. So she's kind of like, I made my decision and I'm not gonna terminate. Congratulations,
I I think it was a way to I believe, to
No, it was in the embryo
stay
office. She didn't know that.
right, but how she left it with him, she said that it was her decision and basically leaving him out of everything when they had that fight at the loft or whatever, his fault. So it was just like, okay,
But it is the
well,
woman's decision.
because even with her message there, it wasn't like you have to do anything. It's just there's going to be a baby out here, Dad, for you. And then, but because of his own story that is going on in his life, it's like, well, I couldn't really wait on you to make your decision. So I went on and made some plans for myself and my family. I'm just, I know, but that's what it's appearing or how it's being written like. Like,
They were
I'm going to
already
make my,
in the process. Like, we have
it's
to
more,
understand, they were already in this embryo process before Camille situation came afoot. Like, it's not like Camille said, well, I don't know if I'm gonna keep the baby or not. And he was like, oh, okay, let's go get some embryos. Like, they were already in that process. So it didn't matter what decision Camille was gonna make. Him and Portia were already over there.
Mhm.
Because it takes months to go through that process, which to me is why I don't understand why him and Portia are there. But I'm gonna rock it out with the TV show. It's a TV show, y'all. It's a TV show.
Unless Portia was already getting her eggs prepared and maybe looking for a sperm donor.
Could be. I mean, she could have. Maybe that's why she came back to New York, because she was in the process of getting her eggs harvested and frozen. I
Mhm.
still think it's too fast to be like, well, hey, you can have my sperm. Like,
It is.
I'm not a fast mover. That would have really ran me off. I would have been like, oh, I'm out.
Oh, well, you wouldn't like what's happening on Sisters right now, Tyler
Oh,
Perry show.
this. But yeah, you could harvest your eggs and freeze them. He could still be the father 2 years down the line. I don't understand the rush of having embryos, and I definitely don't understand the rush of wanting to implant them. It doesn't make, their story does not make sense to me.
Unless
The only way
he,
that makes sense is if he was dating Portia the whole time he was dating what's her name, Camille, and like all of this was already going on for years. Like, none of this makes sense to me.
or she could have some other health issues. Like she had to really take these eggs now. Maybe she's got to go through a hysterectomy or whatever.
The eggs, it's nothing wrong with taking the eggs. You could take healthy eggs and freeze them and fertilize them later. You didn't have to fertilize them.
Yeah, I think he jumped the. I just feel like he jumped the gun and said, "Hey, I'm gonna do this with you."
Especially in this new relationship, if you know you have issues conceiving and you need to do IVF and harvest eggs, and you might not have that many eggs, I damn sure I'm not about to get it fertilized by a man that I just jumped off with 2 months ago. Because now, if that don't work out, i.e., Camille and this baby over here, now you don't have any more eggs.
Well, what type of love bombing is happening over there? You know?
Foolishness, because it doesn't make sense. That is an
It doesn't.
extreme to go through in a very brand new relationship. That is too extreme. Even more extreme than Angie, because you can always get a divorce, but it don't have to be no kids involved. This with the eggs is too much. It's too much for me.
It is.
I can't
It
wrap
is.
my mind around it.
Yeah. I guess we're just gonna have to go through this.
I can't wait for the next 2 episodes. Real quick, before we jump off of here, why do you think they're rushing this season? Like, they're only giving us 6 episodes, and then they're dropping them 2 at a time. So it's like they're not even giving us a month. They kind of like, here, take this, take this. Y'all could have just dropped all 6 if y'all was gonna do that.
They could have, most definitely. That has to do with Amazon, though. That's their decision. And I guess they only ordered 6 episodes and told them to wrap it up. How they decide to give it to us. But it's so weird. Why did they give them so much promotion this season? They've never
Mhm.
promoted. And
I
now you just give them 3 weeks of episodes and basic, like, that's crazy. Now you spend some money on them.
right. They do a lot
Oh,
of promotion. I seen a lot of preseason interviews. They went on the interview circuit, and it's kind of like we did all that, but here it's over.
right. Yeah. I mean, the social media is running so swiftly now. Like, I don't like that. Oh, I'm hanging on because I do love this show, but I just feel like we as viewers have been disrespected, especially with this.
Especially after Run This World. Is it Run the World? Run the World left. I was like, damn, it was just getting to the meat and potatoes of the juicy story, and it was
Mhm.
gone. Now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of Camille and this juicy story, and now it's gone. So we really got to support our Black shows. Another one that left us was Rap Shit. I really enjoyed that by Issa Rae on Max. So we really just got to support when P Valley come out, we got to turn up because it already took them 50 years to come back. When P Valley comes back for their season, is it 3 or 4? 3?
I haven't watched this.
Oh,
I've
you
never
know
watched.
P Valley? Okay. Well,
No,
I will be
but I
turning
mean,
up when P Valley comes back because I don't want to see that show go. It's really good, and we need them to get to writing. It shouldn't take 5 years in between each season.
right. I do understand that. I think they're. This isn't a black show, but I think they're waiting on Euphoria. That writer strike really did it.
I forgot about the writer strike. Yeah, I forgot about
Yeah,
that
yeah, that's what stalled things on a lot of
on a
fronts.
lot of shows because people will lose interest. Pay these people so we can keep our TV shows going.
Facts. Yeah.
But what you have going on later on your channel coming up?
I do a lot of the Bravo shows during the week. Married to Medicine tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and then the Beverly Hills, also New York, and Salt Lake City from Bravo. I'm doing 2 new shows. Well, one is Harlem, and I also have picked up Family Business New Orleans.
Oh, I forgot to watch that. I need to get into that.
It is good. I'm entertained. You're gonna get your drama and some. I say it's comedy, but you didn't know that you were going to get some comedy out of these certain people. So it's pretty cool thus far.
And Layla Rashawn is back, right? She's in that.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm happy to see her
I want to
because
support her.
yeah, I haven't seen her in forever. So I'm glad that she's back. Her and Yvette Nicole Brown, they are a
Mhm.
cool duo together. They got great chemistry
Watch
together.
that
So
tonight. I'm gonna watch that tonight so I can see if I'm gonna review it or not. I want to
cool.
start reviewing more Black shows. I review a lot of competition television, and that is my heart. I love competition television, but I want to review more Black shows because I feel like we're cutting them off too fast, and so we need to be more engaging in the shows I do want to see stick around longer.
Yes. Now I do review other shows that are considered more web series. I love supporting more independent
Mhm.
stuff than even the major stuff. So there's soon some more shows that are coming out that I do that are in my playlist that you can see. Tough Love Atlanta is about to have their season finale, season 2. They first played on My Clio TV, which is like a subsidiary to TV One.
Hmm.
But this Tough Love series has been out forever. They were in LA, now they're in other places, now they're in Atlanta. And a lot of the stars that we're seeing now being noticed, it's kind of like their role to or their chance to break out into something a little bit more major. Um, The dude Roy that plays the dude that's on there, Julian. He plays Roy on Beauty and the Black. Um,
Okay.
the one actually Zach from Sisters and Karen from Sisters. They
Okay.
came from those shows. I was like, okay, there was a lot of people that I didn't know was from there. Now they're a little bit more like at a different tier as far as web series. There's other ones that I actually reviewed that people that I feel like need to get eyes on. Even though what how small my channel is, I'd like to be the gateway
Mhm.
to at least let people know who may not know about
Right.
these people. So that's what I do over there.
I agree. Coming up for me tonight, I have the Drag Race panel. I think we're going to be on Angela Roche. Um, I will share the link on my YouTube wall for the Drag Race panel tonight at 6 p.m. Central. So you can find us over there. And tonight at 5 p.m. Central, I'm doing a fantasy party for the Challenge All Stars 5. And so we have a lot of good stuff coming up competition wise. And again, if you all know of any shows, especially Black shows, that you want me to check out and review, hit me up in the DMs on Twitter or Instagram. It's Kiss My Cheeks TV. And I will check them out because I am looking to kind of branch out of the competition world and do more things. Please follow both of us on Twitter. We have a really good time cutting up, tweeting about the shows and things like that. It's really fun. So follow us on Twitter as well to have an interaction while the show is actually being watched, but then also come back for the review. And with that being said, we appreciate your support. Like this video, get in the comment section in the rewatch gang, and we'll see y'all next week. We'll let you know what time. Bye. Hold on, let me end it.